Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today. I just bought a cherub, a little angel, for my friends over at PCA. We are going to show you all the things that are going to be taking place in downtown Petaluma this summer based on what Petaluma Pete has filmed in the past. So we'll look at it as the best of for the Downtown Association. So if you want to know more, come with me. Summertime, 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 summertime. All right, kids, our first stop is going to be one of my favorite events of all time, and that is the Butter and Eggs Day Parade. The word we're going to learn is volunteer.
This is for kids only. This is for kids only. This is for kids only.
Hey kids, it's Petaluma Pete here in downtown Petaluma, and we are here today for the Butter and Eggs Day Parade. Behind me there is a cow chip throwing contest. To the left of me there is live music, and there are people everywhere coming to see the parade. We're going to learn a new word today, and that word is volunteer. Can you say volunteer? Well, let's learn what that's all about, because there's 3,000 of them down here today to help on this parade. Come with me. A volunteer is someone who offers to help for free. In other words, they donate their time instead of getting paid. If it wasn't for the people who volunteered their time to help put this day together, we never would have seen this, or this, or this, or this. We never would have been able to see this, or 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 this. Volunteers helped set up the tents. They helped line up the floats. They helped control the crosswalks so adults and kids wouldn't get smushed. They hung the signs off the buildings. They brought in the chickens. They hauled the llamas in from big trucks. They helped facilitate transportation for the world's ugliest dog. They helped this nice adult show off her parrot, and even colored the cow chips that adults were throwing down the street, and they swept them up afterwards. Volunteers helped the Petaluma High School band get ready to march in the parade, and they helped carry this huge flag down the street in the wind without letting go. It was volunteers who let this nutty adult ride this contraption around the town, and volunteers were right there to help if anybody got lost or hurt or needed directions. And I don't know if it was a volunteer who installed this safety fence on the ledge of this building, but Petaluma Pete sure is glad somebody did. To be a volunteer, kids, is to be a good citizen. To be a volunteer is to show you care. Volunteers are the coolest. So that about wraps it up for this Kids Corner for Kids Only, and as always, don't forget to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies.
This is for kids only.
All right, let me see your teeth. Those are good teeth. In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime. Next destination, kids, is the annual Antique Fair. And I want you to watch here. There's a segment where there's this really old guy. We call him Solar Man. We love him. He and the very, very young guy are dancing together. Let's watch.
This is for kids only.
This is for kids only.
This is for kids only.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are out on the street, and today we're at the Antique Fair, and we have Exhibit A with us today. This is Nick, and Nick is here to help us because this video is for kids only. So the word we're going to learn today is antiques. Have you ever heard that word before? Have you ever heard that word before? No. So let's go and find out what this is all about. Come with me. Now, an antique is any work of art or a piece of furniture or decorative object created or produced in a former period, or according to U.S. customs laws, 100 years before the date of purchase. Now, somebody said anything under 100 years old might be called vintage. And both kinds were here this fine Petaluma morning, all up and down Kentucky Street. You know, as a kid, you'll be happy to know that toys can be called antiques or vintage, right along with all that adult furniture stuff. And the toys were everywhere. They had really great old dolls in this really cool tractor that kids used to ride like a tricycle, and chemistry sets with all sorts of chemicals in them that kids used to play with. And here's a Peanuts bus that's sort of old, but still really cool. And I don't quite understand, but I still love this big bee head, and also these crazy gold Mickey Mouse ears, and this kid-sized table and chairs, alongside a really old, almost antique fire truck that I can still remember getting my feet tangled up in. But this video isn't about Petaluma Pete, it's about kids, and especially Petaluma kids who were there to see this wooden motorcycle and this wicker baby carriage with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus inside. And will you look at this Flash Gordon looking tricycle, and will somebody stop me? Whew. Anyway, next time an adult wants to take you to the mall, kids, tell them Downtown Petaluma is a mall. Only better because it's outside. It's fun. And it's a priceless antique because it's over 100 years old. Downtown Petaluma is made for kids, with or without an antique fair. That about wraps it up, kids. Don't forget to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies. Hot time, summer in the city. Back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Next stop is the tribute to American graffiti. In this video, we actually put the camera down on the street so the cars could actually run over it, and it really got the crowd kind of crazy because they thought the camera was going to get smashed. So did I, but it didn't.
This is for kids only. This is for kids only. This is for kids only.
Hey kids, it's Petaluma Pete, and we are in downtown Petaluma today at the American Graffiti annual celebration. This is unbelievable. There's all these great old classic loud cars downtown, and they're doing something called cruising. So the word that we're going to learn today is cruise. You ever heard that word before? Let's find out what it's all about. Come with me. The first thing we want to remember is that this event is actually a fundraiser for organizations that help people. It's a tribute to the 1973 George Lucas movie American Graffiti, filmed right here in Petaluma. And to cruise means to travel about without any particular purpose or destination, and that's just what they did. The whole downtown area was closed off so kids and their adults could walk right up to hundreds of very cool old cars that came into town from all over the state of California and beyond. Some of the adults were spinning classic records in a special booth right there on Petaluma Boulevard, and they had karaoke singers singing way out of tune over in Putnam Plaza, and the live music was also everywhere with a classic rock and roll band on a big stage at the corner of Western and Kentucky, and a hard rock band on B Street, and Petaluma Pete was doing that honky-tonk out there on the sidewalk in front of the museum, and kids just like you were having a blast from the past. And the canine police dog people had a special tent where they were making burgers for everybody, and even the mannequins in the windows of the downtown shops got into the act. But wait, there's more. The wheels were everywhere, including adults on 2 wheels, kids on 4 wheels, one guy on 1 wheel, and people were dressed up in really cool car shirts, and others were dolled up in really cool period dress and hair. And there were kids watching the cruisers, and other kids were actually in the cars cruising with their adults. That about wraps it up, kids, but before we go, let's take a look at these old cars for a minute, the way the kids back in the 50s and 60s used to see them, because unlike the modern designs of today, lots of old cars had funny faces with round headlights that looked like eyes and grills below the eyes that looked like a mouth. Some even had big smiles and big noses. Some Fords were always happy. 58 Chevys were crazy looking. 51 Chevys were pensive and content. Early vets had big toothy grins. Mercury's looked like they were going grrr. And this guy here is saying eh. And this one's going ee. And I don't even know what this is. My Uncle Jet drove an Oldsmobile just like this one, and I always thought it looked just like him. Not a very happy guy. Caddies were uptight and took themselves way too seriously. Plymouths were always worried about something. And it looked like this guy just got new braces. Studebakers changed a lot over the years. This model always was glad to see you and made you feel at home. And Petaluma Pete's personal favorite, the 40 Ford, always had the silliest expression on its face. Well, we're out of time, kids, so until next time, don't forget to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies. Bring back those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer. Next up, kids, is the Riverfront Revival event, and I want you to watch how all these musical instruments come together as one. The interesting thing about this video, it is one take, no editing whatsoever, which was really a lot of fun, and it also emphasizes how music in the schools is so important to a well-rounded education for you.
This is for kids only. This is for kids only. This is for kids only.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today, and I want you to know about a wonderful event that is coming up very soon. It's the Rivertown Revival. And Petaluma Pete is so excited because what you're about to see is the perfect combination of learning about musical instruments and one of the greatest events in the history of mankind. It leaves me speechless. You want to know more? Come with me. Art boat drag races, aerial and puppet performances, 2 stages of eclectic music, $5 weddings, river monsters, slideshows and circus acts, River Kids Town for kids only, art and craft vendors, non-profit booths, art performances, strolling entertainers, and much, much more, kids. So round up your adults and watch this video with them while we learn about and listen to all sorts of musical instruments being played at the same time, and feel the fun as we roll along. love to live so graciously. Live this life of luxury, lazing on a sunny afternoon. This next one is called Taste, kids. It's a benefit that's downtown for the Cinnabar Theater. Lots of fun coming.
This is for kids only.
This is for kids only.
This is for kids only.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today at the Taste of Petaluma extravaganza. So the new word we're going to learn is taste. You ever heard that word before? Well, come with me and let's find out what it's all about.
Taste, kids, is a sense by which the flavor or savor of things is perceived when they are brought into contact with the tongue. So when the good folks at Cinnabar Theater helped coordinate the whole downtown area as a food tasting endurance course, Petaluma Pete realized this was no act and brought his tongue along with an empty stomach and joined the throngs of adults running the streets from store to store, sampling all sorts of foods. Over at the theater square, House Fortuna was serving grilled prawns with arugula pesto, roasted eggplant, and crostini with balsamic reduction, while La Dolce Vita was pouring samples of Big People's grape juice for the adults, and Powell's was serving up gelato for kids only, no matter what the age. And that was enough to get us started. So we headed for the Starstruck Boutique for blue chicken focaccia, made with grilled chicken, sharp blue cheese, mushrooms, and pesto on a fluffy onion focaccia. Oh, baby. Before heading for our next destination, kids, we stopped to say hello to the window mannequins. Then we made a beeline to Vine and Barrel for an international cheese assortment with crostini and fresh fruit. Live music was also being tastefully performed all over the downtown area, kids, all for the benefit of the Cinnabar Theater and Petaluma's theater world, because acting is also live performance and it helps make Petaluma a tasteful community. And just thinking about it makes me hungry, so off we go to McGuire's Pub for shepherd's pie, made with succulent lamb, braised and topped with mashed potatoes, cheese, and baked to a golden brown. And next stop, Velasco for chili con queso, which is chili with cheese and tortilla chips. And then on to Mi Pueblo for a tostada or taco with shredded chicken or beef. And this is where we started to feel a little full. So we headed for Athletic Souls, where we heard Chloe the cow was going to make an appearance, but we couldn't find her. So we sampled some of her organic mild cheddar and then stumbled over to McNear's for some homemade battered fish and chips and mini Memphis-style barbecued pulled pork sliders. Now a slider, kids, is any small or mini sandwich, and since this was the second pulled pork slider of the day, we went looking for something a little lighter and landed at Heroes for some California roll with avocado along with an extreme alien carbonated orange-flavored drink, which gave us a much-needed second wind. So we rolled over to the New Dimensions Art Gallery where they were dishing up the deviled eggs. It was getting toward lunchtime, kids, and just watching this kid here go after this ice cream cone made Petaluma Pete a little woozy. So we pulled up at Sienna Antiques for some chicken cordon bleu, comprised of chicken breast, wrapped around black forest ham and cheddar and Swiss cheese, breaded with panko, baked and then browned until crisp and golden. And then on to Pelican Gallery for some award-winning Della Fattoria breads with tam cheese and roasted vegetables. Excuse me. Now, I know we should have stopped there, kids, but we heard Rabisi's had a new chef who was serving risotto with Italian sausage and peas and mushrooms and Parmigiano cheese. And then Riverfront Gallery was doing Assagia potato soufflés topped off with creme brulee in an edible chocolate cup. And yes, we were now approaching the threshold of pain, but we just could not resist the lusciously creamy milk ganache truffles hand-rolled in buttery toffee bits at Viva Chocolat, and somebody stop me. But wait, there's more. Right over the footbridge is the Golden Eagle Shopping Center, kids, where Curves uncovered lasagna with eggplant and portobello mushrooms, vegetarian chicken teriyaki, popcorn, and then the Banyan Tree Thai restaurant had chicken curry puffs with dipping sauce, and across from them was the Everest Indian restaurant with succulent pieces of lamb or chicken cooked in mild coconut apricot sauce and spices served with fresh naan. And that's all Petaluma Pete could take. So as they say in the theater world, kids, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. Or in this case, dances.
And I ain't got nothing but the summertime blues. Are we having a good time? Let's go to the Veterans Day Parade, shall we? We tried doing a sing-along for you, but Petaluma Pete had an awful head code, which is just a big excuse for the fact that he can't sing. So let's watch.
This is for kids only. This is for kids only. These are for kids only.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today, and we're going to be seeing the Veterans Parade. So the new word we're going to learn is veteran.
This video was produced 2 years ago and has been brought back because this year's Veterans Day falls on 11/11/11, kids. A date that is special because it's the only one that Petaluma Pete has ever seen that reads the same upside down as it does right side up.
You ever heard that word before? Well, come with me and let's find out what it's all about.
Now, kids, a veteran is a person, usually an adult, who has served in a military force. And as we watch the very beginning of this year's Veterans Day Parade, we see members of the United States Coast Guard, one branch of the armed forces that has become more important than ever nowadays. And it got us thinking about 4 other important branches of the armed services. Those being the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines. Way down the street, we could hear a marching band playing a patriotic song, and that got us to thinking about the songs that are most commonly associated with the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines. And that got us thinking about how most kids today are not that familiar with these 4 songs. So go get your adults, gather around the screen here, and let's watch this year's Veterans Day Parade while we sing along with Petaluma Pete. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atom boys, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one heck of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flame. Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys. We sail at break of day, yay, 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 through our last night on shore. Drink to the foam until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Over hill, over dale, as we hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In an out, hear them shout, counter-marching right about, and those caissons go rolling along. Then it's high, high, he, in the field artillery, shout out your numbers loud and strong, for where'er you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along. Well, that about wraps it up, kids. Remember to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies.
I see you in September, or lose you to a summer love. This next segment is called Whiskerino, kids. It's the first time that Petaluma Pete heard about Bill Sobranis. And if you don't know who he is, just keep watching.
This is for kids only!
This is for kids only! And hallelujah, it is only for kids!
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today, and we're going to go to a wonderful event in Walnut Park called Whiskerino. And the word we're going to learn is whisker. You ever heard that word before? Well, come with me and let's find out what it's all about.
Back in the 70s, my dad used to say that growing hair didn't take any special effort or talent. You just had to sit around and wait. Well, kids, Fred and Melissa Abercrombie, minus the Fitch, and Erica Burns Gorman, Queen of Walnut Park, and Bill Hammerman, Sage of Petaluma, and Pam Tarliot, Mayor of Petaluma, all collaborated with a gaggle of volunteers to help support a very hairy Petaluma event called the annual Bill Sobranis Memorial Whiskerino Contest that started back in 1958. Where wishful, whiskered wannabes wander with wayward wonderment to meet and compete with their facial works of art. Petaluma Pete got there early to capture the hairy hopefuls as they lined up and signed up for the ultimate follicle face-off. Hundreds of fans and family members jockeyed for position around the gazebo that was going to be used as a stage, while others snapped up souvenirs that included these very cool t-shirts, limited edition posters, maintenance kits, milk chocolate mustaches, or is it must-sty, and mustache cookies were there for kids only, and these very cool sew-on patches. They even had a publication there called the Facial Hair Handbook, and right there on display was the coveted Best of Show trophy, kids, the holy grail that every contestant was lusting after. A closer look at these furry facades reveal a genuine passion for the sport, however. Some were wild and free, while others were controlled and trimmed. There were big sideburns, white beards, short beards, bushy beards, black beards, red beards, and one beard was so long the owner had to hold on to the end of it to keep it from blowing around. And then the contest began. Our harried contestants paraded up to the gazebo where the official judges were waiting for them, holding official Whiskerino judging forms attached to official Whiskerino clipboards, and each group of contestants representing different competition categories stood there to be judged while the crowd waited in wild anticipation in the hopes that their hero or loved one would be picked as a winner. This kid was standing at the foot of the gazebo with some sort of licorice mustache that he was really proud of, and this mom was sporting her own mustache that I don't think was real. And this guy was not even in the contest, but just riding by on his bicycle. And before you knew it, the judges had made their decisions. The winners started taking their bows in categories like Best Mustache, Best Beard category, Best Sideburns category, Best Peach Fuzz. They even had a Best Other category. And my favorite, Best Boy Band Chin Strap category, and of course the moment everyone was waiting for, the Best of Show. Well, that about wraps it up, kids. Until next time, remember to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies.
This is for kids only! Summertime, and the living is easy. Sounds like a musical, doesn't it? Well, this next segment is about a musical called Petaluma the Musical. Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today, and we're on a stage at the Clear Heart Gallery on Petaluma Boulevard for a very special reason. That's why we're all dressed up. We're going to learn a new word today, and that word is musical. Have you ever heard that word before? Well, if you want to know more, come with me.
The word musical, kids, can be described as set to or accompanied by music, as in musical entertainment. Well, there's a new musical coming to Petaluma, kids, and it's called Petaluma the Musical. Petaluma the Musical is a fun and engaging performance bringing out the best of Petaluma's rich historical treasures through a story of Ben and Sarah. The character of Ben is this really macho, old-school dude, kids, who meets up with this pretty little lady named Sarah on a riverboat leaving San Francisco and heading to Petaluma back in the 1920s. The two of them hit it off really well during the boat ride, but they go their separate ways once they arrive in Petaluma, and Ben ends up getting a job loading hay on the barges and doing that whole women wine and song party thing over at Volpe's, and making big money winning wrist wrestling contests in town, while Sarah almost dies of boredom living in her aunt's Victorian house over on B Street. And what happens after that, I can't tell you, kids, because I don't want to blow the plot. The musical itself, however, is an exciting mixture of scene play narration, theatrical performance, original music, and historic visual displays. The production sports a uniquely crafted script and 11 original music scores for a fun-filled evening of entertainment, kids, for you and your adults. There's this really funny part, kids, where Volpe's gets raided. And this really sad part where this mean and greedy land developer tries to put one over on old Ben and Sarah. And there's an original song about Bill Sabrinas, the Petaluma newspaper reporter who started Petaluma's wrist wrestling contest, and the Whiskerino contest, and the first ugly dog contest. And there's another song about Petaluma chickens and eggs written by Norman Greenbaum. And there's piano music and guitar music and harmonica music and rap music. That's right, a rap song. And there's harmonizers and there's a song for everything, kids. Sung by Petalumans, for Petalumans, about Petalumans who were living here from the 1920s to the 1950s, when life was simpler before there were power drinks and the internets. So this is truly a Petaluma original, setting the stage for many more to come. Petaluma the Musical, kids, it's about time.
This is for kids only.
When I say 3, you want to say, this is for kids only. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
This is for kids only. It's for only kids.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are not in downtown Petaluma today, but we are out here at the Petaluma Airport for a very good reason. And we're going to learn a new word today. That word is flight. You ever heard that word before? Well, if you want to know more about it, come with me.
The Wright brothers changed everything when they flew the world's first successful airplane, kids, on December 17, 1903. What does that have to do with Petaluma? Well, 7 years later, a young adventurer named Fred Wiseman made the first airmail flight to Santa Rosa from Petaluma. People on the ground looked up and wondered what the somebody was driving a strange-looking air machine at the perilous height of 100 feet. Did you know there is even a memorial to Fred Wiseman right here in Petaluma, kids? Well, that's just the beginning, because soon all of Sonoma County will celebrate Wiseman's historic flight with a huge 100th anniversary party. And part of that celebration includes the Petaluma Airport Wiseman Centennial Celebration Program on February 19, along with Petaluma Pete's first annual Fred Wiseman Kids Only plane ride, absolutely free to the lucky kid whose name is picked in a random drawing right there at the airport during the event. Have you ever explored a real plane up close, kids? Have you ever seen the inside where the people sit and look out the window? Well, real planes will be on display on the 19th, so you can do just that. And if you are the winner of this plane ride, your flight pattern will take you right over downtown Petaluma. But this is not just any random flight pattern, kids. No, no, no. You will follow the official Petaluma Pete flight pattern that was actually flown by retired Petaluma Airport manager Mike Gloss. And Petaluma Pete sure hopes you can push an airplane around all by yourself like this when you're Mike's age. Mike took Petaluma Pete up into the sky in his plane, so we can show you now what you will be able to see if you win.
Clear prop.
It was a perfect day, kids. We sat on the runway waiting for incoming planes to land, which Mike says always takes priority. And as we rolled down the runway, all we could think about was the lucky kid who would be seeing what we were about to see. Now here's a map featuring downtown Petaluma, kids. And as you can see, the airport is across the 101 freeway, indicated by this blue circle. So, up, up, and away you will fly in this big blue circle, where you will be able to take in the rolling hills that are east of downtown, and the view is amazing. Make sure you choose a day when the sky is a beautiful blue and you can see forever. Now, in keeping with the Petaluma Pete flight pattern, you will then make this big, long turn, kids, so you can view Lucchese Park in all its glory, with the big lake behind it, glistening in the sun. Wow, I had no idea it was so big. So that takes care of circle number 1, kids. Back to our Petaluma map, and you will see your next destination indicated by this new red circle. On the way there, you will pass over the Sonoma Marin Fairgrounds. Look out the window and you'll recognize the racetrack way down below. The wind is so strong it makes the camera shaky. Hard to hold on to. You'll also recognize the 2 big beautiful towers of the St. Vincent Church, kids, and it's fun to look all around and try to figure out where you live in relationship to this landmark. Drawbridge is up. Now let's go back to the map and add this big green circle, kids, where you will cross directly over the heart of the city to get there, and probably spot the mighty Seth clock tower at Petaluma Pete's favorite corner. It's too windy, Captain. I can't hold it steady. Usually you have to look way up to see this clock, but now you'll be looking way down at it, along with all the other old rooftops in the coolest downtown in the history of mankind. In keeping with the Petaluma Pete flight pattern, your Petaluma map will now present the 4th and final circle, an orange circle. And you will then head back across the freeway, but not before flying over more neighborhoods, where you might even see your very own house. Woohoo! For your return, as you approach the airport after one more downtown flyover, kids, We hope you will have a better understanding of what Fred Wiseman accomplished 100 years ago. Also, let's take one last look at our map of Petaluma, and you will see now why we call it the Petaluma Pete flight pattern, kids. Because the route you just flew followed the shape of a musical symbol called a G-clef. This is to remind us that music in the schools is essential for a well-rounded education, but you already knew that. So here's how you enter. All you have to do is download and print this flyer, fill in the blanks, and bring it to the Petaluma Airport after 10 a.m. Saturday, February 19. You can also pick up one personally at the Petaluma Historical Museum, kids, and experience their contribution to Fred Wiseman's historic flight, running now to April 24. By the way, if you do win, make sure you have your picture taken with the pilot so you can show it to all your friends and go down in the Petaluma archives as the first kid to make this historic flight. Well, that about wraps it up, kids. We hope you are the one who wins the plane ride. Until next time, as always, remember to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies.
Those were the best days of my life in the summer of '69. Lagunitas, beer circus. Nothing more needs to be said.
This is for kids only! This is only for kids only! This is for kids only!
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we're in downtown Petaluma today, and we are going to learn a new word. That word is carny. Have you ever heard that word before?
Hold it right there, kids. The following video was shot last year and sealed in the Petaluma Pete video vault until today. It documents last year's Lagunitas Beer Circus, an event with proceeds going to help save music education in our schools. So go get your grown-ups, kids, because if they like to party, this video is for them.
Come with me and let's find out what it's all about.
The word carny, kids, is described as someone who works in a fairground or a carnival. And a carnival is a lot like a circus, with a group of traveling entertainers, including clowns, acrobats, and sometimes animal trainers. So we heard there was a circus in town, so there we were rolling down the street looking for carnies, when we saw the circus sign benefiting the Petaluma Music Festival coming up to help save school music programs. So we were all over that. This was not just any circus, kids, because we soon learned that it was an interactive circus, where the spectators were part of the entertainment, sort of like carny wannabes. And we knew we were in for something a little different when we saw King Kong waiting for us in the parking lot. As we approached the entrance, everything around us was transformed. We were swept into an alternate world of whimsy and creative silliness that we will not soon forget. Up until this event, kids, Petaluma Pete thought he was egg-centric, as they say here in town. But he now realizes he has a long way to go if he wants to catch up with these nutcases. Clowns to the left of us, jokers to the right, and here we are, stuck in the middle with you. You couldn't tell the carnies from the blarneys, and I don't think anyone really cared, because they were too busy doing fun, crazy things and just letting it all hang out. There were superheroes there to save the day, if necessary, and slingshot slingers slinging these fuzzy plastic things at more clowns, and these strange arcades with even stranger animals like this jackalope here, and they even let accordion players in without the threat of being arrested for playing the accordion. And they had stand-up comedians who were really very funny, along with food that was really bad for you right next to food that was not so bad for you, and people who were going around sticking their noses in other people's business, and others who were watching them very closely. And there were others who, no matter where you went, they were just oh so happy to be there and oh so happy to see you there. And some of the people were so tall they had to watch where they walked. And there was this crazy band playing this crazy music with even crazier, crazed, dancing adults. And gone was the daily grind at the office working for the man. Gone were the deadlines. Gone were the quotas. Gone were the screaming kids. Sorry. All replaced by the likes of this really weird heavy metal banjo player, kids. And this ultra cool checkered suit guy. And this incredible tall couple who loved to dance with these wonderful outfits that you didn't even think anyone could upstage until this big pickle person appeared here who had these hands, kids. These big white hands. And this very unique pickle dance that your adults have probably never seen. I know Petaluma Pete never has. Meanwhile, our Petaluma schools were benefiting from money collected for the price of admission, but also through raffle tickets being sold for 2 guitars that were autographed by Peter Frampton and by Slash. Part of over a dozen guitars in the Petaluma Pete collection that are going to be raffled or auctioned at the Petaluma Music Festival at the Sonoma Marin Fairgrounds. So you need to tell your adults to be there. There was this incredible machine there, kids, made of metal and designed like something out of the Mad Max movies. It had this big body like some sort of insect or something, and the dashboard had real knobs and switches and gauges, and it was a real driving vehicle with a real engine and real tires and everything. And there was this big panda there who was really friendly, and a real-time painter artist who was grooving to the crazy live band, and the music was coming out of his brushes onto the canvas. And then we saw real carnies, kids, real circus performers doing real high trapeze moves without a net. Well, that about wraps it up, kids. Remember to attend the Petaluma Music Festival to help save music in our Petaluma schools. And remember to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies.
If you come to San Francisco, summertime will be a lovin' there. Another event that takes place every year in downtown Petaluma, kids, actually it's a lot of little events all put together during the summer, is over at 4th and C. This particular segment also has a message for you, having to do with being a judge.
This is for kids only.
Good.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma today, and we just came from a contest where you judge. And it's important, I think, for you to learn the good and the bad about being a judge. So that's the word we're going to learn, judge. Do you want to know more? Come with me.
The word judge, kids, can be described as a person appointed to decide in any competition or contest. And that's just what the good people over at 4th and C asked Petaluma Pete to do at their monthly Sunday cruise-in for classic cars, where there's classic food, live music, raffle prizes, and the chance to win what they call the Sunday Cup Trophy, a giant sundae with lots of spoons. Now, kids, Petaluma Pete was more than happy to play the part of judge at this event, judging what, in his opinion, was his favorite classic car on the parking lot that day. So while the live music played, we walked around and took a good look at each vehicle that your grown-ups put their sweat and tears into, not to mention a small fortune in parts and paint and busted knuckles. And that's when I remembered some words of wisdom a long time ago, a statement from a CEO in my past who also had an opinion about judging contests, and that was, quote, "If you offer or judge a contest with 100 participants, the first place winner is the only one who likes you, while you just created 99 new enemies." Now, to Petaluma Pete's thinking, kids, the use of the word enemies was a little strong. But even if the 99 losers ended up just not liking you, that's a lot of bad vibe. Especially when, in the case of these classic cars, the contestants have obviously invested a huge piece of their lives into perfecting these incredible automobiles, and their efforts are now in your hands, however brief. And no matter who you choose as the winner, you can bet the other 99% won't be feeding your tip jar anytime soon. The pressure continued to increase as the car owners watched, and the band played another Dick Dale cover song, and the car owners watched. And the raffle prizes continued to be announced, and the car owners watched. And Petaluma Pete finally decided which car he was going to tell everyone he liked the best. This 1951 Mercury with chopped body, incredible wide white walls, original-looking hubcaps, split windshield, sun visor, suicide doors with no outside access handles, and skirts. That's right, kids. Real skirts over the back wheels, and a purple people eater custom flame paint job to die for. So let's watch as our judge announces the winner. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't offer contests, kids, and I'm also not saying you should not judge one either. What I am saying, however, is that if you do, you need to go in with your eyes open and be prepared for however the other 99% reacts after you announce the winner.
My favorite car here is, and that would be, drum roll please. What, he gets the drum roll. What? How about this drummer? He's pretty good, huh? The winner is the 51 here with the skirts and the suicide doors and the incredible white walls.
Go!
That's my car.
Well, that about wraps it up, kids. Until next time, please remember to be nice to everyone, listen to your teachers, and eat more veggies. On a little more serious note, kids, we want you to be aware that we are very much into educating you so that you can take over this world from us old folks. I'm also very happy that they have a senior discount for this taxi because I'm a senior. Anyway, this last segment has to do with the Petaluma Educational Foundation, PEF, a fundraiser that Petaluma Pete wrote a song for. Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we're in downtown Petaluma today, and we're all dressed up because we're going to be going someplace really special this week. It's called The Bash. It's a party, a fundraiser for school education in Petaluma. Now, there's all kinds of different bashes, and probably the one you know about is like a big noise if you like take some cymbals and put them together. Then there's bashes that are really huge and might come out of nowhere. Well, in this particular case, we're talking about a party. And one thing I did learn is that the time it takes to explain this kind of bash is directly proportionate to how long it takes to sing a song. Back in 1982, right here in town, so cool, a group of Petalumans met to help our schools. Major budget deficits throughout the state had to be made up before it was too late. They formed a new non-profit with a brand new name, Petaluma Educational Foundation came. Their goal was to raise education money fast. One way's through a party that they called the Bash. Bash for cash. Party with the hearty. Bash for cash. Every penny counts. Bash for cash. Making children smarty. Dance and do the schmooze until the cows come home. The Bash is where you'll meet our city's grandest folk. They're all so smart and witty, and that's no joke. Petaluma's finest, all in one place. Everywhere you look, you'll see a friendly face. This town has 37 schools with 13,000 kids, a public-private kindergarten high school grid, 13,000 minds with 13,000 goals. So let's have some fun while filling up those budget holes. Bash for cash. Shout it from the steeples. Bash for cash. Every penny counts. Bash for cash. Party with the peoples. Dance and do the schmooze until the cows come home. Bash for cash. Party with the hearty. Bash for cash. Every penny counts. Bash for cash. Making children smarty. Dance and do the schmooze until the cows come home. So come along with us and make your money count. When it comes to education, we'll take any amount. The Bash has got a rep for being really wild. And all the fun you'll have will go to fund a child. With scholarships and grants and fine arts part of the pie, deserving students get the boost they need to fly. The money raised by PEF helps fill the gap. So sing along with me and everybody clap. Bash for cash. Social interaction. Bash for cash. Entertainment too. Bash for cash. The ultimate attraction. Bash for cash. What you got to do? Bash for cash. Our children are the future. Bash for cash. Education is the glue. Bash for cash. Let's all get together.
Well, that about wraps it up, kids. Until next time, don't forget to be nice to everyone. Listen to your teachers. Eat more veggies. Don't forget to get home safe.